Okay. Hi, everyone. Give me a second. But it... Hey, trying to fix this problem right now, but I am live, so I'm going to try this again. All right, so welcome to my first Facebook Live. I'm going to be doing these every Monday, 11 to 12 a.m. or 11 to whatever. It's a Q&A. So basically, I'm doing these because I found out over the past month in June when I invited people to join me through my Calendly, to connect with me via Calendly for 30-minute conversations around... Can you send me the Facebook link? Oh, there we go. You are here. There is someone on there. Okay. So essentially what happened is that I invited people to join me in June for these 30-minute conversations. And what I found out is that a lot of you wanted to join me, wanted to have more conversations. And so I'm creating a virtual circle, and I'm going to do this every Monday at 11 a.m. right here on the Creative Leadership Group coaching page, so that we can sit in virtual circle, so to speak. And it's a Q&A. So you get to ask me whatever questions you might want to ask, anything around mind, body alignment. And so today I wanted to start with a very common topic that is in the air, that a lot of people are feeling, a lot of people are struggling with also, and that's really around how do we deal with anger at this time in the world. And so how do we handle our anger? Well, in general, the more we're stressed, the more likely anger will play out. And it's just one of our survival mechanisms, right? We use anger as an expression of survival. And here we are at this time in society, at this time in our world, where we are in a very traumatized state. It's a big word. Everyone's using it. There's huge anger and rage right now, and it's circling around our core wounding, our own personal core woundings. It's also around racial violence that's circling around inequalities between the races, between classes, between economic classes, political divide. And there's more bitterness and anger that's evolving. And in my one-on-one conversations that I had with some of you in June, a lot of you shared with me that you were feeling confused, that you don't know what to do about this anger. And it's kind of like this feeling that's sitting inside of our bodies, and that's showing up as pain, that's showing up as anxiety, that's showing up as a lot of people not being able to sleep. And so if you're not able to sleep, your body never gets a chance to actually re-regulate itself at the end of your day when you are going through all of the veils of anger or resistance or opposition, or just trying to keep your wits about you. And now, of course, if you're not sleeping, you have no chance to catch up and to get back into alignment, refresh yourself so that you can start the next day grounded in alignment and with some sort of energy about you to move through those challenges throughout the day. And so what happens if we can't sleep is that we will reach out for different types of pharmaceuticals to help us sleep. Or for some people, they self-medicate with marijuana, with a variety of different tools that is actually being heightened at this time. So it's not just about the anger that's going on in society and around us, but also very much in our personal relationships. And that's what many of you shared with me. So what I want to talk about a little bit today and to leave you with and for you to ponder and explore is also how anger might be able to help us, how to honor the anger, because it can be hugely powerful. It's a hugely powerful primal energy. And it's also one that can cause horrific suffering if it's not channeled properly. If it is channeled properly, you can use it to heal yourself, radically heal yourself, and also others along the path, because you're not trying to break down or break up everything around you. Instead, you're choosing to go inwards and to heal yourself using the fire, the correct channeling of your anger. So my question to you is, how do we meet anger with awareness? And I wanted to share with you that there's a few ways that we can deal with anger with awareness. And I'm just looking at my notes here. So anger with awareness looks like this. It looks like us speaking up about things that are disturbing us, that are bothering us, if we see some sort of injustice around us. And injustice around us can be a very small thing. It can just be the way someone acts or speaks to someone. And I live in a very busy city, and you can see that happening energetically sometimes, especially now. We're still moving through COVID. If someone is not wearing a mask on the train and you're wearing a mask, sometimes that can bring up some anger, because you're feeling like, well, I'm wearing a mask. Why can't everybody else just follow these very simple rules? Well, here's what channeling anger in awareness looks like. You actually can shift your way of communicating with people energetically. So instead of getting angry at them, what we want to do is to try to cultivate this sense of patience, of tolerance, and compassion. Because if you use your anger outwardly in a way to blame or shame another, we all know the direction that goes in. And it's not just for us, it's around us. It's everyone around us that is experiencing this level of energetic discord. And that's what anger looks like when it's not channeled properly. So I think that it's really important to focus on how we can channel this anger. And a lot of the time, what you'll notice is that the anger is actually reflected at yourself. You are angry with yourself about either not responding to something or responding to something in an unhealthy way. Worst of all is responding to someone else. Well, maybe not worst of all. Let me reframe. I think the worst of all is when we speak angrily or treat ourselves badly, that we get angry at ourselves for whatever reason. There's a plethora of reasons. Also, how we get angry at others in our intimate relationships, either your partner, someone you might be living with, but also our children, your daughters, your sons, your extended family. And once we start to point the finger and outwardly use anger, then it shifts the energy around us, which affects your physiology. So people sometimes will come to me Some of my clients will come to me and, a cyst might have arisen in their body, or for some reason they have been having more problems with their intestines, or they're feeling there's something wrong in their stomach. Lots of that can occur from not channeling anger properly. And it's a very real thing, these physiological affectations that show up from us not being able to focus our anger with awareness. So this is possible. We can all do this. And I think that it's most important at this time, because if we don't start to take control of how we express our anger and how we move through society and how we speak to other people, and even energetically, we are adding, to the conundrum that's actually occurring on the planet. We are adding the energetic turmoil that's occurring on the planet. So it's a very personal decision. It's a very personal path that you might decide to explore, so as to create a sort of army of angry, aware people, and to use the anger, to channel the anger, to actually be able to promote peace. So, channeling your anger and using anger doesn't mean to repress your anger. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about a wiser way in which we can use anger to promote more safety around us, because we don't need more unsafety around us right now. It's in our nervous systems. Like I said before, people aren't sleeping. Sometimes myself included. I'll have a sense of anxiety that might come upon me, which I never experienced in my life. And now, since there's more turmoil going on the planet, there's a sense of a lack of safety. And, a lot of this came up with COVID, when everybody had to shut down and go inwards. And now we're starting to see what's actually occurring from that time. We're starting to feel the repercussions of what happened during COVID. And so the bottom line is to really be able to explore and to use anger as a mechanism, as a tool to help us evolve. Okay, so I want to talk about a couple of ways how anger, when it shows up, we get possessed by anger, how we're really cut off from our full humanness. We're cut off from our full spirit. So I thought it would be helpful to reflect on how to navigate anger with awareness. And so there are a couple of principles that I think might be helpful. The first principle around anger is that it's intelligent, it's useful. Because if we can get angry about something in an intelligent manner, in a way that can assist us in growing our environment, then we want to use that fire intelligently. We want to move forward and use anger in a way that will support not only our capacity to express ourselves, but also our capacity to be with others in anger. And the interesting thing is about this, that when you become aware as to how to channel your anger, you actually become one of those in a group setting, like in these, the marches that we've been seeing and having for a plethora of different reasons. There are certain people in those groups that tend to have kind of the badge of the wise elder. So that older people that tend to march and to go into protests can carry some of the weight for younger people who are very, very fiery. And it's kind of a beautiful way to integrate how we move through life with anger And we kind of have these elders that can hold space for us as we move through our protest. And then the younger generation, it's a different energy. You guys really are very angry, and it's right that we should go out and protest, in my opinion. We just want to do it in a way where our anger is challenged productively, meaning that we use our anger in a way that is aware, that is intelligent. So that's what I mean about using anger in a way that supports us and supports our environment in an intelligent way. Another principle that I want to talk to you is, if we don't use anger in an intelligent way, what tends to happen is we're actually acting out our own unmet needs. If we don't use anger properly, a lot of the time what can happen is that we're using anger to express our unmet needs. And so it becomes a projection of either how we're feeling angry in the moment, or also it could be from anger from our past. And, anger doesn't discriminate. When you get into an environment where you're feeling angry about something, it's like fire, right? It'll just take over you. And so you might be projecting anger that you haven't processed from your past into a present situation that is increased, that is fueled by the accumulation of anger, and you get to spew it out into the world. That's an example of how anger can be used towards suffering, towards the suffering of others. So the idea is to use these tools, and the tools that I use, obviously, that are related to what I do, are tools of meditation. I use daily tools of meditation to help me to go inside and to process, first and foremost, with myself, with my body. How am I feeling inside? What's showing up for me inside? How can I connect to what I'm feeling inside and actually get into a relationship with the anger that arises, instead of going out there in the world and imposing it on others and creating more anger in the world. So the one tool that I want to leave you with today, and I'd love to have any questions that you might have around that, opinions that you might have around that, as long as we are maintaining the integrity of the group, which is to be speaking from a mindful place, to speak from a heart of compassion and with awareness, and still to speak and ask questions and ask the hard questions. And so my invitation to you in terms of getting into a practice of meditation, and it doesn't mean that you have to be in any certain position or posture. It helps if you're sitting in a posture that is awakened, that is enlivened, where you are in your midline, that you're aligned. That always helps. And to just take 5 minutes on a daily basis, 5 to 15 minutes on a daily basis, to sit with yourself, to just tap in to what you're feeling in your body and to get into relationship with those sensations. Because the more you get into relationship with your sensations, the more you can befriend them. You're not acting from a place of unconscious. It's the opposite. We become more and more conscious every time we tap in and sit and connect to a deeper place within us. So I want to leave you with that today. I want to leave you with the possibility of a tool that you can practice on a daily basis. Go inward and put your hand on your heart and on your belly, right, or your abdomen. Put your hand on your belly, on your abdomen and your heart, and just tap in. Take a moment to connect with yourself and to just feel what's going on inside. And you might be angry as heck, And that's okay. The usage of awareness, of wisdom with anger is this practice of connecting to yourself, of feeling what you're feeling, of allowing what shows up to show up, and to be in relationship with it. There's no resolution per se in this methodology. I'm not inviting you to resolve something. I'm simply inviting you to sit in present awareness. And the first step is to start to feel, to recognize what's showing up in your body. And then when you have an idea of the anger, you're recognizing it, just allow it to be there. You don't have to throw it out. You don't have to resolve it. You don't have to do anything about it. The first step is to just feel, to slowly move forward into sensing what's occurring in your body and to give yourself a chance to move into relationship with it. Okay, that's it for today. If you happen to watch the video, if you happen to watch this and any questions arise, again, this is a Q&A. I'll be doing this every Monday at 11 o'clock to get us started into having a conversation around these topics. And anything that I can possibly help you with or support you with during this time, please reach out, leave a comment, reach out to me. You can find me at artofalignmentacademy.com. Go to my contact page. You can send me a message. And if you have a question, please feel free to do so. I really hope to see you here next week. Blessings to all of you. Bye.